Well, the empty nest took my wife and I by surprise. I mean, we really weren't ready for it. We hadn't talked about it. We hadn't really prepared in many ways. We grieved the loss of the day-to-day parenting, which we weren't sure we were going to do, while at the same time, we needed to reconnect with each other. And we kept asking the same question over and over again. Now what? I think a lot of people in the empty nest asked that question. Now, we didn't want to become like the people described by Billy Crystal in the movie City Slickers. When talking about the empty nest, he said, well, you'll spend most of your time wandering around malls, looking for the ultimate soft yogurt and mumbling, why don't the kids call? Why don't the kids call? Now, I'll be honest with you, we have mumbled, why don't the kids call? We found our ultimate soft yogurt already. But that's the thought in so many minds when we think of the empty nest. Now, Kathy's and my reactions were, very different. I was struggling, but you know what I did? I poured myself into my work and more work. Kathy experienced what we call, and it's a classic, the empty nest syndrome. She was the sun, and our kids were the planets revolving around her. And now she'd lost her, major focus and experienced some of what we call in the empty nest syndrome, sadness, loss, and even loneliness. So she needed to reinvent herself. And in many ways, I also needed to reinvent myself. But we reacted differently. And what I find is in the empty nest, a lot of times people react very differently. I mean, I remember writing in my journal, and I wrote this down. I miss their mess. I miss their noise. I miss their rudeness and their neediness. I miss their laughter. I miss the place I have in their life. And then I wrote, who am I? And what do I do with the rest of my life? So yeah, I was experiencing it too. There was so much change going on. And one thing about change is that change and loss are deeply connected. And so a lot of times people aren't aware of the loss that they're feeling. Now, out of our experience with the empty nest and really doing life with adult children, I came up with 10 principles for finding joy in the empty nest. These principles come out of my own personal experience, hundreds of conversations with others who are also entering the empty nest or in the empty nest, and research. And in this course, we're going to look at all 10 principles.